Recording their first victory of the season, the Hartford Athletic return home with the hopes of continuing their upward trend as they welcome in New York Red Bulls 2. Hello everyone, with Chris Nurse, I'm David Gascon. Thanks for joining us on a chilly night in Hartford where, Chris, we have two teams that are trying to dig themselves out of a bad hole.
Yeah, neither team find themselves in the standings where they'd like to be tonight, but it's a perfect opportunity to climb the standings. Some big signings from Hartford and, of course, Red Bulls. It's a sleeping giant. You know, some of the players they have in the team, some talented young individuals. It's only a matter of time before this team starts to gel. There's some consistency in the lineup, only 2 changes from the previous game. Hartford, on the other hand, some big signings, some big names. Let's see if they can start to climb the standings.
Yeah, and Hartford wants to continue that trend of going upwards. Their last game was actually their first victory of the season. Joel Johnson in the 41st minute got the only goal, the game-winning goals. They defeated Loudoun United FC 1-0 back on Saturday, May the 7th. It was a complete game for this team.
Yeah, and the key to this game is they managed to keep a clean sheet, and that's when one of the key objectives. When they kept a clean sheet, they've been able to win games.
And Corey Herzog, you see him right there. Second USL Championship competition. All-time, he's scored over 70 goals. In fact, 73. He likes to light the fire for this team.
Yeah, if you find Corey Herzog in the box, you're going to get goals. But he admits himself he's had a little bit of time off. He's not quite in the physical condition that he would have liked to be in at this stage of the season, but we know that the quality that he possesses in the final third.
Now, John Murphy's out tonight for Red Bulls 2. But you have one guy stepping in, Jeremy Raffanello. He has to be the guy to lead this charge for New York.
Yeah, and this stage of the season, it's time to produce. You know, he needs to increase his offensive output, score, create goals. This is a team that's struggled in the offensive third, and he's the man that they're relying on to make things happen. So expect to see a big performance from Raffanello in tonight's game.
And see the shape tonight for Hartford. 1-6-1, 4 points, 12th in the Eastern Conference. A change in net. Not Jimmy Slayton. It's going to be Austin Pack in net.
Yeah, we spoke about the team's ability to keep clean sheets, and if the head coach Harry thinks this is the change it needs to make, put Austin Pack in goal and give them some solidity in the back five, then this is what they need to do.
On the other side of things for New York Red Bulls 2, 1-7-1, 4 points. Last in Eastern Conference competition. Giannis Nikopolidis is in net tonight. He is the go-to guy for this team. It feels like the rest of the season, too.
Yeah, we've spoken about this team's inability to score goals, but this is a familiar lineup now. These attacking players have been having some consistency. Now it's a case of can they build that chemistry to create goal-scoring opportunities.
Coming up on the side, we'll get you the first touch. It is Hartford and it is New York. Both these teams desperate for a win. We'll find out coming up on the other side. We'll be back.
You've got a life to live, and you don't want to miss a beat. But sometimes it happens. And Trinity Health of New England is ready with comprehensive cardiovascular expertise, delivered with commitment and compassion throughout our network of hospitals and physician offices. So when you trust your care to Trinity, you won't have to hope for the best. You can set your heart on it. Trinity Health of New England. Care that's always there.
Hartford Athletic would like to thank our partners, CT Army National Guard, Midline Chiropractic, Walgreens, and Connect Care. And we are live from Trinity Health Stadium. Built all the way back in 1935, renovated a few years ago in 2018. That's Chris Nurse. I'm David Gascon. Thanks for joining us tonight. Could be a sloggy night, Chris. Not necessarily rain coming in right now, but temperatures around 62 degrees and a pretty good chance of rain. How do you think it'll affect the pitch?
Yeah, a cool atmosphere makes for a high-intensity game. You know, we're getting to the part of the year, we're into the hot summer months, and sometimes the players enjoy having that cool atmosphere because it allows them to press without running out of energy and dying in the heat so quickly. So I think the players will enjoy the temperature tonight.
Beautiful setting, though. Glad you can be with us on this fine Saturday night. New York Red Bulls 2 going from left to right on your screen. Hartford Athletic and their home uniforms, the blue and the green, traveling from right to left. Chris, it was rather interesting, too, talking to both head coaches leading up to this match tonight. They're worried about one game that's in front of them. And oftentimes you look at teams that are struggling a little bit, trying to rack up victories, let alone goals. But it's keeping that complacency where you're thinking about not what's in front, but more so what's at hand right now. And obviously this game is critical for a couple different reasons.
Yeah, and especially for Hartford, you know, the head coach spoke about it's only a matter of time before somebody ends up on the end of a big beating from this team. He feels like they're building confidence.
Into the box. Should result in a corner kick. First opportunity tonight goes for the road team. New York Red Bulls 2, 1-7-1, led by first-year head coach in Gary Lewis. He was ahead of development for the Seattle Sounders. He loved that transition, though, going from development to leading this Red Bulls 2 team. Into the box again. That is Austin Pack charging out, making his first touch of the evening.
Yeah, Harry Watling had spoken about, you know, his team had created chances. They just hadn't put them into the back of the net. Maybe, I think he spoke about hitting the woodwork on more than 7 occasions. So he believes that they're creating the opportunities. It's just a case of converting them. And he thinks sooner or later, and maybe tonight, that's going to be the night where all these opportunities turn into goals. He said it's only a matter of time before someone ends up on the end of a rather large beating with the chances that his team's been creating.
Yeah, the one luxury they have is it's so early in the season. There's no sense of panic. And of course, the development here is not only worrying about your guys improving week by week, but making sure they're doing so as a collective group.
Yep, and with Corey Herzog being an addition to their lineup.
Adebayo Smith outside, looking for someone into the box. That one just skips past and out of the reach. Like a little bit, though, with Adebayo Smith. Good attempt early on, looking for Jonathan Felipe.
And we were just talking about Corey Herzog being an addition to this Hartford forward line. You know, you're talking about one of the league's all-time goal scorers, sitting in second with 73 goals. He has such a great strike with both feet. He's a fantastic finisher. He may not be in the physical condition that he'd like to be after having 6 months off and kind of finding himself back into the game through some connections at an Open Cup appearance with Des Moines, and now starting to get himself back on his feet with Hartford. But you have somebody who, given quality service into the box, is going to punish you.
A difficult challenge there at midfield. See the keys to the game tonight. Presented by Hoffman Auto Group. No more red cards. It's part of the reason for that shot on goal, knocked aside by a Pack, and that will be a corner kick. It looks now stay in as a throw-in, though, for New York Red Bulls 2. Yeah, John Murphy had a red card last contest against Sacramento. Republic FC has a 1-0 defeat and stopped by a Pack early on.
Yeah, we're looking at the keys of the game there, and speaking specifically about the Red Bulls, you know, 11 games and 5 red cards. It's not just a case of taking your team down to 10 men. Of course, you're going to struggle, but it's a case of discipline. You know, it shows a lack of discipline in the team that on such frequent occasions, your team is picking up red cards. So I think once they're able to address that and players maybe start to play the game a little bit smarter, a little bit less emotion, and keep 11 players on the pitch for the duration of 90 minutes, I think they're going to start to pick up better results, because undoubtedly, when you go down to 10 men at this level, you won't see a lot of the ball and you'll be punished.
Been a world of hurt. And going back to Herzog real quick, take me through this as a player yourself. How long does it take to get acclimated back into this thing? Not only the speed, but then your physical condition.
I think, you know, it's going to take him Normally, I would say, you know, a very good preseason, and then 4 or 5, maybe even 6 games into the league is when you really start to feel your momentum and you're really feeling match fit. Corey, you know, he has good discipline. He's still 31 years old, so he's not old. But it's going to probably be mid-season before you really start to see the best out of him. He's a striker that enjoys pressing and closing down and making runs in behind. And unless you have your match conditioning and fitness, it's difficult to do that. So I think, you know, he's always going to have that talent and that quality. But to be able to impact the game in the way that he likes to, with making runs and pressing defenders, I think it's going to be a little bit of time before he builds out that match fitness again.
There's Curtis of 40 from Hopewell Junction, New York. Nice play on that back line. Poland been a mainstay for this club this season, making his 6th start of the year in 8 contests. And about Smith is in the box. See if they can get it to him. Again, the goal differential, while it's not alarming just yet for Hartford Athletic, they've had chances, and earlier your point, getting woodwork 7 different times. It has to be frustrating, but I think the most important thing is the opportunities are coming.
Yeah, the opportunities are coming, but the biggest glaring factor is when they've kept a clean sheet, they've won.
Yeah.
So whether they score 1 goal or 2 goals, they won the last game 1-0. They won 1-0 because they kept a clean sheet and they capitalized on the opportunities they had in the attacking half. If they keep conceding goals out they have been, and you need to win games by scoring 2 or 3 goals, that's not going to be realistic every game. Championship teams that go on to be successful over the course of the year, often very good at grinding out 1-0 results and having a stellar defense.
Snapped their 6-game losing streak just last week. 5 of the 6 losses, to your point, Chris, have all been by 1 goal.
Yeah, they've been by 1 goal, and I want to believe a large percentage of those games have been away from home.
Yeah.
So now they've come back home and they have their home advantage, they have their home fans. Now it's going to be important to change that momentum, to start to pick up points at home and take advantage of that advantage that they have.
10,000 seat capacity here at Trinity Health Stadium. It's a dual facility made for soccer and also for football. UConn's men's and women's soccer team actually used it a few years ago back in 2019. So getting good mileage out of the turf. Poland with a giveaway. It'll be a throw-in though. There's Joel Johnson. Johnson, the hero last week, making his 150th regular season's appearance in USL Championship competition.
Yeah, when you look at the composition of this Hartford roster, you know, they have a good blend of players who have been in the league for a long time, but they also have some players who have good experience overseas. You have Brewitt, who came through the likes of Liverpool and Middlesbrough's academy, spent some time in the lower leagues with Fylde and Morecambe in the United Kingdom. So they have a good mixture of players who have a lot of USL experience, some with MLS experience. Corey Herzog, we spoke about earlier, actually played for Red Bulls MLS, might have been the first MLS contract that he had before having a stint with Vancouver, and then we were teammates also in FC Edmonton. But they have a good blend of experience and talent.
Back into the box, outside the 18, let's strike. Trinity Health of New England is proud to be the official medical provider and title partner of Hartford Athletic, always committed to providing the best healthcare experience every day for every patient. Trinity Health of New England, care that's always there. Into the 8th minute, no score just yet. A couple chances early on for New York Red Bulls too. Conte, his first touch of the evening, just outside the 18. A little bit of miscommunication there. Mullings. Avante looking to search a little bit, trying to create. Mullings with a window. Pat comes out. The initial stop. That one is shanked. Adebayo Smith just misses the top corner.
Not quite sure how that one manages to stay out of the back of the net. It looks like Adebayo Smith had the whole net to slide the ball into, and somehow it ends up going over the crossbar. Just maybe just slashes it rather than just guiding it into the opposite side netting.
He's less than 5 feet out.
I'm still shocked the score's not 1-0 right now.
Peculiar as it is, that's the difference between the upper echelon teams so far this season, the ones that aren't there.
Rash tackle there. I think the referee rightfully is going to brandish a yellow card.
early booking. Raffanello goes down. He's in some agony. Questionable attempt, but we'll go back to it.
It was a little bit late and probably a little bit aggressive too. The ball was long gone. He was going to make sure the man wasn't getting past him as well. If the ball gets past him, the man wasn't getting past also. Strong tackle.
And that is Tom Brewitt. Tom actually has a relationship with Gary Lewis, the head coach for New York Red Bulls too, all the way back in his Liverpool days. But Brewitt with the early booking in the 10th minute, yellow card coming his way. And Jeremy Raffanello, we mentioned the pregame open, trying to work it out. Goal differential this season for New York, -11. Fair attempt there on Poland, but Pack is there again. Pack coming into this game, making his 5th start in 5 games. Goals against average is at 178. Save percentage at 563.
And it's interesting you highlight the goal differential for New York, -11. Head coach Gary Lewis spoke about in training this week, they worked a lot on things going forward. You would imagine that with a -11 goal difference, you would have worked a lot on the back and stopped yourself conceding goals.
Johnson into the box. Nobody around in blue and green though. First look for Hartford Athletic in the attacking third, at least the sustained pressure. Sadie. And now they'll reverse back a bit. Poland with a nice chip. And that'll be a goal kick. Please join us in helping founding partner the Hartford, celebrating nearly 75 years of educating children about fire safety. And with their Junior Fire Marshal program, visit juniorfiremarshal.com to learn more.
You know, what I find really interesting with this Hartford team is the head coach's management style. You hear him talk about the belief factor and how he wants the players to believe in them. And then you hear Corey Herzog talk about how he ended up here. He played 1 game in the Open Cup and the head coach called him and believed in him and convinced him to come and play. And then he talks about what they did this week in preparation. You know, they went bowling, they watched the Champions League final together. So he believes a lot in building camaraderie and the team unit, both in practice and out of practice. And he's spoken about that win that they've got now has changed the momentum and the atmosphere this week. They had a really good week in training. Everybody came in happy. It was really upbeat. Now the key is going to be to sustaining that, is if they can go on tonight and get 3 points at home. Now they completely change the momentum and the perception of how their season's been so far.
And you can't erase that type of significance. Just going out, hanging out with the guys, whether it's at a bar, bowling, on road trips. I mean, how important was that throughout your career?
Yeah, I mean, it's key to building chemistry, right? Sometimes it can go wrong. Sometimes you can go out and you realize that you really don't like your teammate.
Sure.
But the one thing that you really have to do is make sure that you respect everybody. And when you're coming to work as a team, it's about winning and getting the job done. You don't have to be best friends with everybody. Of course, it gives you an extra boost if you can have chemistry, you can have relationships with your teammates, understanding. But when you get on the pitch, you know you're going to back your teammate up 100% because the two of you want to get the win. And it's all about having that winning mentality transmit throughout your whole organization, your whole club. You know, that's what drives winners and success.
And you certainly can't manufacture that at all. It has to come through a little bit of time. And keep in mind, you have a lot of these players that have developed through their youth days.
Yeah, and I think when you take them out of the soccer environment, so you go bowling or you're watching Champions League away from the training pitch, you get to know the players more as people. You know, you get to find out more about them besides what they're capable of doing on the playing field. And I think that in itself can build relationships, stronger relationships. And the more you know a person, the more you can get the more out of them as a player. So I think having that aspect and seeing the whole holistic development of the team is very important.
Fans, don't forget, don't miss our next match right here at Trinity Health Stadium on May 28th at 7 p.m. Go to hartfordathletic.com for tickets and more information. It's Chris Nurse, I'm David Gascon. Glad you can be here with us tonight. Prince Sadie on the turf right now, being attended to, making his 7th start in 8 matches. Has yet to record a goal, but he does have 3 helpers in the season. Mentioned the goal differential for New York. Hartford Athletic on the other side of things, they're -6 goal differential. They scored 5 times on the year, 1 and 2 at home. Troubling part for them has been on the road, 0-4-1.
Yep, they got their first win of the season last week, and this is going to be now, can they go on a winning streak? Most certainly an unbeaten streak. The last thing you want to do is lose at home. If you can't win it, make sure you tie the game and you start to change it by just picking up 1 point. Picked up 3 last week. That's 4 points out of 6 in 2 games. You know, can they start to turn the tide slowly?
Yeah, it is a head scratcher if you're following Hartford Athletic this season. They lost to Indy 11, 1-0. That game was just troubling the fact that they were manufacturing, stop and go action, but also they had 2 lightning delays, one for 40 minutes and another one for 90. They couldn't even get onto the pitch. Lost to Detroit FC 2-1. Had a 1-0 lead early on, but Detroit had tied it 1-1 and scored the game-winning goal in stoppage time. Lost to Miami FC 2-0 back on April the 16th. They controlled possession time. Miami had 5 shots on goal. Hartford, unfortunate for them, only manufactured 2.
I think for Hartford, definitely one of the keys to the game. We spoke a lot about Herzog, who's obviously well known throughout the USL, but also Danny Barrera has been such a talented, gifted player. I remember way back when we used to compete against each other when he was with Atlanta and San Antonio and Carolina. Such a gifted attacking player. You know, the connection that him and Herzog can have going forward can be devastating for defenses. We've not seen him get on the ball as yet in these opening 15 minutes, but hopefully as the game progresses, that's going to be a player Hartford look to find with possession.
New York trying to maintain this pressure into the attacking third. And there is Danny Barrera. Barrera, as he get in the scoring column this season, last year though, had 8 goals and 12 assists. Nobody around for New York on the intercept. Poland. This will be a throw-in for New York Red Bulls too. Hartford Athletic would like to thank Nuovo Pasta and Citizens Bank for supporting our Goals for Meals program. For every Hartford Athletic goal scored this season, Nuovo Pasta and Citizens Bank will donate meals to Food Share Connecticut. Mullings right back to him. Williams. Thank you to all our Business Alliance members. Tonight's Business Alliance partner of the match is Hinckley Allen. Williams to Mullings outside. Energy's been fine on both ends. Paul with a nice force out though.
I think historically in the 12 times that these teams have played against each other previously, that it's only ever been decided by 1 goal. Of course, the mutual fan, they want to see flair, they want to see attacking, they want to see lots of goals.
Right.
However, we can't really, that's not really what we're expecting tonight, given that both teams have struggled to score so far this season, and the history of the occasions only ever allowed either team to win by 1 goal. But maybe something different will happen tonight.
Hartford Athletic leads the all-time series, 6 up, 3 down, and 1 draw. However, New York Red Bulls 2 had the last laugh. Last season, they won 2-0.
I think what you do start to see from teams at this phase of the season is you start to see some consistency and a spine in the lineups. For example, both of these teams only have 2 changes from their previous lineups. So now you're starting to get familiarity and consistency and chemistry between the players on the pitch, which means that you start to understand players' movements, players' runs. You start to know where they're going to be, which allows better patterns of play, better movement of the ball and possession. So I expect to see an improvement on that this game, considering minimal changes for both teams.
Yeah, continuity is everything. Gary Lewis had mentioned that to us just a few days ago. A lot of the players from the academy trying to get up to the first team.
And especially, you know, continuity, we are seeing the same back 4 for Hartford that kept a clean sheet in the last game. Although we see a change in the goalkeeper with Austin Pack coming in, it's the same 4. So you start to see cohesion in that unit and understanding of the movement and covering and pressuring, so they work well together.
Adebayo Smith trying to create, crafty, but it looked like he was on the goal line. Celebrating its 75th anniversary, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. Choose what you play with at www.selectsportamerica.com. Select League Choice, Player's Choice. 19 minutes into the match so far. Chris, has it gone as you'd expect it to?
I'd like to see the fullbacks.
Sadie just outside the 18. Double team comes. That strike way wide of the net. Nico Politis off his line, but missed the net by a good 5 feet. Hasn't been tested early on. Giannis has only played in a couple of games, now make it 3. He's a 2-time All-Big East selection, also an All-American at Georgetown. Anthony Marcucci, typically the everyday starters, up with the first team now. Chance here on Poland. That one's nullified.
I was just about to say, I'd like to see more of that from Apollon. There's been times when he's picked up the ball and he's got 20 and 30 yards of space in front of him to drive into, and he's just slowed down the tempo of the game and just played backwards instead of being more offensive-minded and trying to get his team higher up the field. If we can see more of what we just saw from him, and then maybe a little bit better quality on the end of it, a deeper cross into the box to give his forwards a chance of scoring, this is where I think they can be very threatening.
Poor touch from Adebayo Smith. Johnson. Perpa. Hartford Athletic would like to thank everybody, and that includes our founding partners, Travelers. Thanks to Travelers, presenting partner of our community champion program, children for undeserved communities throughout the greater Hartford area, able to come to the matches free of charge.
Great diagonal pass there in the center of the park from McGlynn.
Connor playing his ball at Siena College, making his 7th start of the season. Last year had 5 goals in 29 appearances. Has yet to get on the map just yet. Into the box again.
I think Red Bulls have to be careful with allowing McGlynn too much space in the middle of the park. He's now starting to display the range of passing that he has. He's able to pick up the ball deep and switch the ball with long diagonal balls to the wide players in 1v1 situations.
Hasn't been an instance just yet for Hartford Athletic to matriculate down the field. They've kind of gone up and back. Passing hasn't been as crisp yet.
Yeah, but they know, that's the dangerous part. Corey Herzog only needs a sight of goal to score a goal. So he can be very quiet for large periods of the game, and then he just pops up with a goal out of nowhere. And I think that's what New York Red Bulls will need to be very careful of. He doesn't need 10 chances to score 1 goal. If you give him half a chance, he'll put it in the back of the net.
Fine step up there by Pierce O'Brien. O'Brien there along with the Poland. Raffanella was taken down earlier in a difficult challenge by Tom Brewitt. His yellow card in the 10th minute. Raffanella appears to be okay now, though. A couple goals this season in 7 contests, now make it 8. Nice local product, too, from New Jersey. Played his ball at Penn State, Indy Lion. It's an interesting element for New York Red Bulls, too, Chris, is that you have a boatload of players that are under the age of 25, but for New York, they have 7 of them.
Yeah, I think the main focus is always if you're good enough, you're old enough. And the USL Championship is a very good competitive professional league. So the fact that these guys are being given the opportunity to play means that they're good enough. Now it's a case of, can they become a team unit and be able to pick up results? Because so far this season, they find themselves at the very bottom. So I don't think it's a question of their ability or their age. I think it's a lack of ability to get things figured out as a team unit.
And that team unit starts from the first team on down.
Yeah, the winning culture, that winning is a mentality. And it needs to, while development sometimes, or more often than not, is the priority. It's very difficult to develop players unless they're in a winning environment and winning games, because winning gives you that confidence to continue to do what you're doing. If you're doing something and you continue and you keep losing, it's very difficult to become confident. And it's a mentality. Managers often like to sign players from winning teams because the environment, the little things that are done on a consistent basis have a big impact when they're coming into a new environment. Sometimes managers will tell you that they don't like to sign good players from losing teams because there's little things that they do daily in the environment that they don't want to bring into their atmosphere. So coming from a winning environment is always key. And we know that the Red Bulls brand is a winning brand, period. So
opportunity here for New York. Adebayo Smith trying to dance around some traffic taken away by Barrera. Trying to switch the pitch. But it goes right back to New York. The title holders take the spotlight once again when New York, Mexico United travels to Orange County SC. Don't miss any of the action Saturday, June 4th at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Deportes. Herzog looking in some disgust a little bit. See if we get any sustained pressure from Hartford Athletic. Johnson back the other way. Burpa. Budati was outside. This should result in a corner, and it does. First one of the night for the home team. Corner kick sponsored by Bank of America. First one of the evening for Hartford Athletic. And Danny Barrera will take it. Not a local guy, he's from Thousand Oaks, California. Talk about a change in environment going from sunny Southern California to the different elements in the Northeast.
Yeah, he's a player who's had a lot of experience playing this league, and he's always been one of the top offensive players wherever he's played.
Impact player indeed. We'll see if he can get Hartford Athletic on the board first. Bending this corner into the box. It's cleared nicely. No sense of panic from New York Red Bulls 2. A couple of troubling tackles in the defending third. Has been a physical match so far.
Yeah, we've not seen a lot of quality in terms of putting the ball down and moving it quickly and nice interchanging passing and one or two touch ball movement. But we've seen a lot of challenges, maybe mistimed a little bit, and that could be down to the surface being a little bit slick than they're used to. You know, it's a tough surface, a little bit slick, cold night, and players just not quite up to speed with the way the ball may be moving. Normally after half an hour, everybody adjusts to that and is able to settle down a little bit better. But definitely some mistimed tackles early in this first half.
Good shot from our guys in this corner kick from Barrera. You see Raffanello take some contact to the head. No intent there from Jadama. Jadama into the tempo, it looked like. Last match for Hartford Athletic resulted in 25 combined fouls between them and Loudoun United FC. Hartford Athletic getting their first victory of the season despite the fact they did not control possession in that match. 58% to Loudoun United FC. So the fans in attendance tonight dressed comfortably. A little shocking too with the weather conditions. At first touch about 62 degrees. A bunch of scattered clouds and thoughts some chances of rain, but it's all good, right?
Hopefully the game can provide that heat.
Plenty of contact so far. As we get this thing back to a restart. Lyco Office Furniture is a proud sponsor of the Hartford Athletics. For over 40 years, Lyco Office Furniture has been furnishing startup to Fortune 500 companies all over New England. Go to lycoinc.com for more information. Felipe. Good clean takeaway here. Over on the outside, Sadie. No numbers though. Sadie trying to win it himself. Sadie makes another guy miss. Burr's behind him. Herzog on the outside.
Good work there from Sadie. I thought he just lost the opportunity to go forward when he slowed it down there, but
Poland with the step into the box, just misses Herzog on the far side. Got another attempt. Felipe came all the way back. Bad positioning here. Herzog finds it, and it's 1-0 Hartford Athletic. Now the officials are going to try to get on the same page. But that looked like a complete gaffe by New York Red Bulls 2.
What a finish. We spoke earlier in the game. I said Corey Herzog doesn't need 10 chances to score. Give him half a chance in the box and he'll make you pay. And that's exactly what he's done. It's a goal out of nowhere. We haven't seen him in this opening 30 minutes. It's a mistake from the defenders. It's not an easy finish to lift it over the goalkeeper's head from that distance. But let's see what the referee says, whether his goal is going to be disallowed.
Wow. And they did wipe it out. We go back to it. Chris, take me through this in terms of positioning and where you might see an offside being called.
I don't know yet why the referee's called it back, but here you see Corey's just on the shoulder. The defender misses it. He's under pressure and just lifts it up over the goalkeeper. That's a lovely finish. If he's so disappointed that one's been wiped away.
Been the tale of the season for not only New York Red Bulls 2, but also Hartford Athletic. Do not agree with that call, and nevertheless, tell you what, Nico Politis coming off his line is awfully fortunate. A bad read on the green, but it's not being charged to him, so we're still scoreless.
Unfortunately, the highlight of the first half has been a fantastic bit of skill from Corey Herzog. The referee has wiped out and given us a disallowed goal, but we see the threat and the quality he possesses. Just half a chance, and the goalkeeper was diving, waving to his family in the crowd while the ball's going over the top of his head. Is a great finish.
Not with a ton of velocity, but Chris, it was perfect placement.
See him, he's just second the defender misses that, capitalizes on it. He's already taken a glimpse. He knows where the keeper is, and he lifts it with perfection. It's one thing seeing it, is another thing being able to execute it and score.
And the official's arm was not even up to indicate that Herzog was offside.
No, it seemed like he went and had a conversation with the linesman after, and that's why the goal was disallowed.
Awfully troubling for Hartford Athletic, but was a complete gaffe on the back line for New York Red Bulls 2.
Yeah, it's a big let off for the defender here when he goes up for the header and completely misses the header.
Located in Windsor, Connecticut, Day Hill Dome will feature the region's only full-size indoor field plus multiple outdoor fields. Visit dayhill.com. Visit dayhilldome.com for more information. Far side coming out, Nico Politis trying to nullify that attempt. You saw leaking on the back end of Poland. Nico Politis' father, Antonis, heralded as one of the best goaltenders in Greek history on the international stage, and so needless to say, you could say the talent for Nico Politis is in the blood. Pack would come out, awfully close to being another offside, but Raffanello couldn't get to it in time. 33rd minute heading into the 34th. All right, one goal wiped off the board. Corey Herzog had one nullified just moments ago if you're just joining us. Clean but physical first half. Johnson gets taken down.
Yeah, it's not been a first half that you describe as seeing beautiful soccer. You know, it's both teams that are displaying some of the struggles that they've displayed over the course of the season so far, and inability to create clear-cut goal-scoring chances. You know, we've seen the one moment from Corey Herzog, and struggling to think of another moment where either keepers had to really make a save or keep the ball out of their net. It's been a stop-start game with some mistimed tackles, some errant passes, a lot of possession maybe in the defensive third for each team, but it's not really been the exciting, exhilarating affair that we would have loved to see so far, but there's still plenty of time left. We've seen moments in the game where Danny Barrera's picked up the ball, and you see that he has the eye and the talent to unlock defenses. You know, he sees passes that not a lot of people see, and he has the quality to execute at the same time. So still a lot of time left to play.
Christopher Cragwell, you see him there grabbing his left hamstring, and that is not a good sign as he went down like he got shot.
Yeah, you see him grab it and then he tries to jog on it. If that's his hamstring, it's not really possible to jog off once you get hamstring retained. It's one of the most niggling injuries, and it's frustrating. Hopefully it looks like this might be the end of his night.
Yeah, hamstring's one of the worst injuries that you can have, especially that large part of the body. That muscle takes quite a while to recover and recuperate from, so hopefully for Cragwell, he can get up under his own power and get back to action as quickly as possible. Hey, go back to your point too, Chris, in terms of the chances that have been created. I mean, don't forget, Jordan Adebayo-Smith early on had a chance from about a couple feet out and clearly missed the net.
Yeah.
So Cragwell will come out. Daniel De Leon enter the fray. 4G Recycling sponsoring our subs this evening. Herzog with a nice throw into the box, loose, and it's 1-0 Hartford Athletic. This one will count. Fine strike, Luka Purpa, far bar, and a perfect throw in from Corey Herzog.
And if you don't prepare for that, he delivers those throws almost like a corner kick. Does a great job here, flicking it onto the far post. And Purpa does a good job of just guiding it into the side netting. But the throw on from Corey Herzog here catches everybody unaware, launches it in. And Purpa is just lounging in the right space at the right time. Guides it past Nikopoulos. Hartford find themselves in the lead.
Oddly enough for Purpa, not a soul breathed on him. But for him, it's his first goal of the season. And a large one at that. Hartford Athletic leading 1-0. So they could be down morally because of the goal being disallowed. But they kept right to it. So Herzog with a fine throw in.
Yeah, you could see that Red Bulls too, they weren't prepared for the long throw in. They were anticipating it was just going to be a regular throw in. Herzog winds it up and launches it into the box. It's obviously a set piece that they've worked on before. The flick on was perfect, and Prepper found himself in the right place at the right time. Gives his team the lead.
Hartford Athletics is proud to be a partner with Baronet Coffee, a fourth-generation family-owned business. Founded all the way back in 1930, Baronet roasts and sells only the finest specialty coffees. Go to baronetcoffee.com and save 20% on your first order with the code Hartford Athletic. That shot nullified. The second attempt, that one goes wide of the net. Tell you what, Joel Johnson trying to get his second goal in as many weeks. Denied once and then twice.
What a wasted opportunity. Corey Herzog does ever so well here. You think he's been muscled out of the ball. He does ever so well to win it back. He slides in front of the keeper, gives a perfect assist to his teammate. The first one he hits at the defender. The second one, defender as well to close him down, but he could have taken a touch and just slid it past him. A little bit more composure there from Johnson, who found himself on the score sheet, but phenomenal work there from Herzog to create the opportunity in the first place.
There's Barrera on service again. Opposite, and Herzog trying to climb the ladder. That one a little too elevated for him, though.
Yeah, Herzog, even lacking match condition, is showing why he's one of the USL's top goal scorers of all time. He's been involved in everything positive offensively for Hartford. 2 or 3 opportunities created, 1 opportunity himself that was disallowed. You know, you can see that offensive threat now.
Speaking of scene, you also get the sense that Hartford Athletic has dialed things up with the pressure. Possession-wise and more in the attacking third than we saw the first 10-15 minutes of competition.
Yeah, and I think Herzog also has a point to prove. You know, he spoke about how he almost retired. He started his own car washing business, and now he's fell in love with the sport again. You know, he was going through a time when he didn't think he was going to play anymore. And now being given that opportunity to find his love again You know, you can see him working hard. You can see him enjoying the game. You know, there's nothing more when you're a player and things are going right for you. And I think we're starting to see that again from him.
Mullings with a nice move. Good takeaway by Avante. Up front, and a chance here. Adebayo Smith. Second look, trying to go the opposite way. Nobody around for New York Red Bulls 2.
Yeah, I don't know if Adebayo Smith needs to raise that off the ground and put it in there. He could have just slid it on the floor and given his strikers something to sprint onto and attack for a tap-in, but he raised it in the air and gives them no chance to get onto the ball. They're in a dangerous area. They're just a little bit more quality in the final decision-making. And I think this is the difference in why Red Bulls 2 have struggled so much this season. It's the quality in the final third. It's not present right now.
Budati, not called his name too often. There's Connor McGlynn. McGlynn, a local guy, grew up in West Hartford, Connecticut. Making his second appearance of the season. As a starter anyway, but he's seen activity in all 9 affairs. Johnson. It was tied up a little bit. And you see officials there on that handball from Conte.
Nice control there from Johnson.
I mean, Conte. See him moving around with Johnson.
It's not easy to control that ball when it's coming over your shoulder, and he does a good job. He sees the defender going one way and touches the ball the other way, and the defender, number 55, Conte, knew that ball was going past him, so he made sure he stopped play.
Little gamesmanship there. Barrera into the box. Johnson was leaking out on the opposite end, couldn't track it though in time. Tell you what, service has been fine tonight for Hartford Athletic.
Yeah, Danny Barrera has been on all of the set pieces, dead ball deliveries. He's been on there with that quality left foot that he possesses.
Hartford Athletic would like to extend a special thanks to our partners, Jim Beam Bourbon and Hornitos Plata Tequila. Luca Purpa, his first goal of the season, making it 1-0 Hartford Athletic. Johnson, flag was up, offside. Didn't look like he was offside. In fact, Prince Sadie away from him at the bottom of the screen was. But the pressure continues to mount for Hartford Athletic. They've had their foot on the collective gas for the second half of this opening frame.
And it's Herzog again involved in that attack. The ball comes into him, and he knows where he wants to play it, even before he receives the ball. Just a little one-touch layoff into the path of his teammate, who unfortunately was a little bit eager in his run and was offside. But Herzog's showing moments of class in this opening 40 minutes.
Christopher Cragwell went down with an apparent hamstring injury. Daniel De Leon has replaced him. Not much in the attacking third for New York Red Bulls 2. Austin Pack was extremely busy in the first handful of minutes of this contest, but ever since then, he's pretty much laid back. Jimmy Slayton had recorded the victory last week in net. Each keeper seeing 4 games worth of action. Now Pack making it his 5th. McGlynn gave it away though. Adebayo Smith trying to hustle. Jadama in his lane. Adebayo Smith. Closing minutes of this first half.
New York they haven't done a good job of penetrating Hartford. Where McGlynn sits in front of the back 4, there's huge pockets of space either side of him, and if they can get one of their offensive players to receive the ball in between those lines on the half turn and can drive forward and either take goal scoring opportunities themselves or slide in their teammates, this is where they could create chances, but they've not been able to find those spaces either side of McGlynn.
Hasn't been for lack of effort. And the energy appears to be there too for New York. You're rather curious to see what kind of adjustments they make coming out of the halftime locker room. This will be a throw-in though. Budati and Hartford Athletic. Last season, this team finished 12, 15, and 5. No postseason action. Opened the year, 5 of their first 7 games were on the road.
Yeah, and sometimes you might be a little bit more empathetic or forgiving of Red Bulls because of sometimes the consistent change in the rosters. But this is now players who we're seeing week in, week out, who should be building some kind of chemistry and cohesion as a unit. So on this occasion, it's not a case of it's a new group of players thrown together. It's players who have played together week in, week out, have an understanding of each other's habits, and are expected to go out there and pick up results. The minimum you expect to see week after week is improvement. And I'm not sure we've seen improvement from last week's performance in this opening 45 minutes of this half.
About 4 minutes of stoppage time. Couple shots so far for New York Red Bulls, 2, 5 for Hartford Athletic. Each with a shot on target, one on the back of the net. Corner kick is wiped out. Nico Politis wanted to come out for it. He was cut off. Barrera on the intercept. Barrera with a nice move, trying to split 2 defenders. Hartford Athletic trying to maintain possession. They cannot. Kurtzak trying to flag it down. He can't get to it in time. Pack all the way out of his net. Adebayo Smith with an open lane. We're tied at 1-1.
What a time to get the equalizer for New York just before the halftime whistle, and it was the right thing to do. Hartford have thrown a lot of bodies forward, and the counter-attack was there. Goodness knows what Austin Pack is doing all the way out there. Made it so easy for Adebayo Smith, and on this instance, he provided the quality to make that count. Slides it into the back of the net. Hartford will feel absolutely gutted that they conceded that moment, but there was really no need for them to throw so many bodies with such little time left in the first half. They should have really just been staying organised, seeing out the half, ensuring that they went in with the lead. But well done to New York Red Bulls too for getting themselves back onto level pegging. Now we're looking forward to an exciting second half. We spoke about the previous times these teams had matched. It only been decided by 1 goal. We're now seeing 2 in the opening 45. Expecting to see plenty more in the second half.
And you see the stoppage time there, Brignoli Vineyard stoppage time. 4 minutes of stoppage time that we have here as we close out this opening half. And if you're Austin Pack, lived a lot dangerously in the first couple of minutes, and in stoppage time, your aggressiveness came back to bite you.
Yeah, and we spoke about for both of these teams, the ability to keep a clean sheet. Neither have been able to do that so far this game. You know, I think with Hartford getting the first goal, it would have been, can we get another one, but make sure we don't concede. They conceded at such a pivotal time. You know, they really have to go and reflect. Was it necessary to flow so many bodies and leave ourselves open for that one ball, that counter-attack that we got punished for? I think Austin Pack has to go back and also look at his position in that situation. Way too easy for Adebayo Smith once that ball was played over the top, and he punished them on this occasion.
Which you can almost say tongue-in-cheek, because he had a better scoring opportunity in the first 5 minutes of this match and simply shanked the shot.
Yeah, the first one was, and it was also way easier. That second finish, it was obviously an open goal, but the distance it was from, it wasn't as easy it may have looked.
No doubt about it. Here's Barrera. Was looking for Johnson, streaking right down the middle of the pitch. Competitive, physical, goals on each side. Hartford Athletic 3 corners so far. 1 for New York Red Bulls 2. Possession's been nearly identical as well, but 52% for New York Red Bulls 2.
And there was a good reaction from Adebayo Smith. We spoke about the chance he missed early in the game, but now that chance is forgotten. Now he's gone and finished that one. That was a much more difficult finish. So he's redeemed himself and showed a good mentality. You know, he didn't let the first one get to him. He kept himself composed and level-headed, kept working hard, and got the chance that maybe he deserved through chasing maybe a lost ball that other players wouldn't have chased.
It's a positive you get to think about, too, when you get into the halftime locker room with a conversation at hand. Glenn able to at least maintain his footing temporarily. Udati with a nice move. Sadie's up front. See if they can get it to him on this run. There's Prince Sadie streaking down the right side. Sadie with a nice move. Herzog just outside the 18. Herzog trying to manipulate the defense. He goes down. Official says no, get up.
Some nice footwork there from Herzog, trying to work the space to get a shot off. Didn't quite get enough angle or enough space on the ball to strike it. Tried to maybe con the referee there for the PK, but referee was close enough to see that it was never going to be given.
Gotta try either way. And so you see Corey playing this first 45 plus 4 minutes of stoppage time, brings this opening half to a close. Hartford Athletic had the opening goal. Luka Purpa, his first of the season, the 36th minute, but stoppage time goal and a great response. Jordan Adebayo-Smith locks this game up at 1-1.
Yeah, not a fantastic half from either team. I thought Hartford were probably slightly better, but New York Red Bulls 2 getting that equalizing goal now will completely change the conversation at halftime.
Well, more to come on this side. Opening half, though, had plenty of theatrics. Hartford Athletic trying to get their second win of the season, but they're tied right now at the end of 45 minutes of play with New York Red Bulls 2. We're all tied up at 1-1. More to come as we are at half. We'll be back. Back here at Trinity Health Stadium, you see the score. Hartford Athletic led 1-0. New York Red Bulls 2 in stoppage time. Tied it at 1-1. Take a peek at the schedules on both of these sides. Hartford Athletic is to take a peek at what we have in store for them and on deck. Saturday, May the 21st, FC Tulsa at 1 OK Field. Also, May the 28th, Phoenix Rising FC coming to town. And they're back on the road for the next two, El Paso Locomotive FC, and then at San Diego Loyal SC, June the 15th versus Memphis 901 FC. Turn the page to New York Red Bulls 2, trying to log their second win of the season. Again, at Indy 11 coming up next, then Birmingham Legion FC, San Diego Loyal, Loudoun United FC, and then June the 15th against FC Tulsa. Chris, you're pretty familiar with what went down over the last 24 hours. How about this from yesterday's encounter? FC Tulsa, Orange County SC.
Yeah, this was a pretty bad beating for FC Tulsa. Orange County turning out to be 5-0 winners on the night. Everything they hit in the final third seemed to find the back of their net.
Just chance after chance after chance. And yeah, a match that got completely away from one team, and it was foot on the throat for the other team.
Yeah, Lowski in this game actually got himself a hat-trick. Here you see, just holds his run. Nice little finish into the corner of the net, but the defending from Tulsa was absolutely terrible.
A little uncharacteristic for them, but nevertheless, when it's all going right, it certainly is. And Orange County SC, from wire to wire, pillar to post, I mean, they did everything and anything they wanted to do. A convincing win. You see the differential, but 5-1, a loud performance from Orange County SC.
Yeah, Orange County making a statement. You know, obviously current USL champions trying to return back to that form.
And Louisville City, you see what happened with them, and maybe a head scratcher or two, Chris. I don't know about you.
Yeah, great following in here. The keeper parries it right into the area where forwards are always told to make their runs. One of the easiest goals he's going to end up scoring in his career.
And the performance with LA Galaxy 2 into the 51st minute, more chances. And for Louisville, I mean, despite the fact that, you know, they lose for the first time this season, when they do have punch, and they've had punch all season long, feels like even with the performances they have had in a loss, a lot of things to be happy about, but not here.
Yeah, keeper would have been furious at the previous goal for the ball going through the wall, but this is way too easy for LA.
Los Angeles continuing to pour it on. PK in the 66th minute. A little bit of chirping, nothing wrong with that. Through a long season, these things will surely add up. But a stinging loss, and nevertheless, for LA Galaxy 2, making it count. And you feel like just the way that players have come and gone from the first team to the second team, LA Galaxy to getting the victory, 4-3 over Louisville City FC, and they certainly did earn it.
Yep.
As we're at the break right now, Hartford Athletic trying to get back in front. Game is tied right now, 1-1 is the score. We'll be back.
Goes topics. I mean, yeah, let's talk about today we're gonna go topics.
Roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to Sirius XM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on Sirius XM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?
And it's all turning up goals. The audacity! Early fireworks in Wild Horse Pass. Welcome to Tampa Bay. And he drills it! Wow! What a goal!
You strive to stay on top of your health, but you can't always see what's coming. So whether you're ready or not, we are. At Trinity Health of New England, offering you expert orthopedic care throughout our hospitals and physician offices, whenever you need us, for whatever it is. You didn't plan on the pain, but you can make your next move an easy one. Trinity Health of New England. Care that's always there.
Halftime adjustments coming for both these squads, tied at 1-1. Take a look at some news and notes. USL Championship. Chris, we got all kinds of things going down right now. Lamar Hunt, U.S. Open Cup. I know you're excited about that, aren't you?
Yeah, it's always great to see David v. Goliath, and this is the beauty of the cup competition, that the lower league teams get to compete against opposition, and many of those results have been very surprising. You know, we see Sacramento still in there, Louisville still in there. Exciting matchups to come shortly.
It's all about the Hunt. You see San Antonio FC goalkeeper Jordan Farr record 18 saves, 4 clean sheets in 5 April games. That's pretty remarkable. It doesn't matter who you are, when it happens, clean sheets are huge. Take a look at the scoreboard as well. From yesterday into today, highlighted earlier Orange County SC and also LA Galaxy 2. But a few games right now that are at the break, including us. Move from the scoreboard to the schedule and what is on tap. Phoenix Rising FC, Tampa Bay Rowdy. Rowdy's, that game's 10 o'clock Eastern. It's going from onto ESPN News. And now we look at our standings as we speak in the Eastern Conference. Top 7 teams right now. All updated. Hornito's Jim Beam sponsoring us with this. Indy 11 right now, 4-2-2. Goal differential at -1. Hartford Athletic, New York Red Bull 2. Both teams looking for their second win of the season. Who's going to get it? We'll find out on the other side.
There's comfort in routine, and discomfort can be a disruption. But Trinity Health of New England is here to help with an experienced urology team offering advanced diagnostics and treatment expertise throughout our hospitals and physician offices. Because if something is keeping you from living well, you deserve better and the very best care to make it happen. Trinity Health of New England. Care that's always there. You've got a life to live, and you don't want to miss a beat. But sometimes it happens. And Trinity Health of New England is ready with comprehensive cardiovascular expertise delivered with commitment and compassion throughout our network of hospitals and physician offices. So when you trust your care to Trinity, you won't have to hope for the best. You can set your heart on it. Trinity Health of New England. Care that's always there. You've made changes, smart choices, a commitment. So this can be hard to understand. But at Trinity Health of New England, we do. Throughout our hospitals and physician offices, our dedicated weight management team provides expert guidance and care for a successful, personalized journey to better health. Because we understand it's not about what you hope to lose, but all you can expect to gain. Trinity Health of New England. Care that's always there.
Back here at the break right now, Trinity Health Stadium. 1-1 is the score as we take a look at some of the first half highlights in this thing. Chris, it wasn't always pretty, but there were chances on both ends of the pitch.
Great chance here from Red Bulls 2 to take the lead early in this game. Austin Pack was equal to that effort. Parries it away from goal.
And Jeremy Raffanello searching for his 3rd goal of the season, but then we travel our way into the 30th minute. Do you agree or disagree with this call?
I think this is a lovely finish from Corey Herzog. I think he'd be disappointed that's off his goal tally. I think that'll be one of the better goals he's actually scored in his career. There's one thing seeing the goalkeeper of his line. It's another thing having the ability to execute the volley over the top of him.
Can't coach that touch, but we come right back though in the 36th minute And there's that man again, Herzog setting up this goal. It's the first one of the season for Luka Purpa.
Yeah, when he's not finishing them himself, he's creating them, and we know that he has that dangerous long throw-in. It's almost like a corner when the ball's in the final third. I don't think New York Red Bulls 2 were ready for it. I don't think they were expecting it, and they got caught completely off guard. Many standing bodies in the box, and Purpa finished it off nicely.
It's like, you know what we're doing right now. That segue caught off the foot. How about this, though? Inexcusable. Austin Pack comes off of his line, and Adebayo Smith into a wide open net.
Yeah, ball played over the top. Adebayo Smith latches onto it lovely, but Austin Pack is in no man's land. Adebayo Smith does a good job of finishing it off.
So first half stats, as we take a peek at this, is there anything that jumps out to you yet?
No, I think, you know, we've not really seen the goalkeepers and even really have to make too many saves. While there's been possession, it's not really been a lot of quality possession of breaking through lines or switching the point of attack or, you know, making things happen. I think it's been a very scrappy game. It's probably fair that it's level pegged right now. I think there needs to be a little bit quality from both teams in this second half.
Okay, so speaking about the quality, though, what kind of adjustments are you making if you're Harry Watling and Hartford Athletic?
I think Hartford Athletic, you know, if you have a player like Danny Barrera in your team, you need to find him as high up the pitch as possible, as often as possible in possession of the ball, because he has the creativity to unlock this Red Bulls 2 defense. But we haven't really seen him pick up the ball too often, apart from dead ball situations over the halfway line. I think if they can find him in advanced positions in possession of the ball, he's the one that's going to change this game.
Tumbling down on Poland. He's not getting up very carefully, actually. Now he is. He was taken out. And fans, just a heads up, the USL Championship returns to ESPN News as the back-to-back Eastern Conference title holders, Tampa Bay Rowdies, head west to take on a high-powered Phoenix Rising FC Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN News. 10 Eastern, excuse me.
And we also spoke about Apollo on the left-hand side for Hartford in the first half. There was a couple of occasions where he picked up the ball and he drove into the final third, and his delivery on a couple of occasions was good, but then he kind of faded out and he stopped doing it. You know, if he can get back to using that threat on that side, these are the different weapons that Hartford had that could have potentially unlocked this Red Bulls defense a few more times.
What possibly can be for them. Mullings trying to press the attack. Budati with an intercept. Nearly close to an offside, so this will result in a goal kick. No substitutions on either side. We did have one injury. An unfortunate one as Christopher Cragwell went down with an apparent hamstring injury. Daniel De Leon replaced him on the back line. Temperatures at first touch about 62 degrees. Things have calmed down a little bit, but no rain. Expecting some of it. Never came around though, so Mother Nature cooperating at least for a bit. Purpa. This could result in a booking. Now it'll be a foul. Luka recording his first goal of the season in the 36th minute.
I think this is an important game for Hartford to maybe make a statement. You know, if they really want to go on and push on in the remaining months of this season and push for the playoffs, they've got to beat the bottom of the league table, the bottom of the table team. On this occasion being Red Bulls 2. You know, they're going to have tougher games against the like of Tampa Bay Rowdies and some of the other teams, but
Raffanello service, that one's wiped away.
Sometimes these games against the lower end teams can be as tough, but you've got to find a way to get the job done, irrespective of the difficulty of the fixture. And this is going to be the interesting part, to see if they can get the job done, see if they can get the 3 points, even if it's not been the prettiest affair. You know, maybe they've not played as fluent as they would have liked. Still, can they start to turn the results around on a consistent basis?
Now, do you use the fact that many of these players are going up and down their respective teams?
No, I think the objective is to win. You know, you're in the USL Championship, and the objective to play in this league is to win as many games as possible.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, and to win in style too. You know, the game has evolved where winning isn't enough. You need to win in a style that the fans appreciate, that your organization appreciates, and you have a methodology or a style of play and philosophy that the whole organization follows through to. So, you know, I don't think the movement of players, yep, you're bringing players in for match fitness, you're bringing players in to give them exposure, but you're bringing them in more than anything because they're good enough and they're ready to compete at this level. If they're not ready to compete, then you don't essentially bring them in. So I think the objective for a head coach, you know, you always want to win.
Udati with a chance here, just goes rolling on in. Nicopolidis harmless, sees it in all the way. Yeah, you know, head coach Gary Lewis had mentioned that earlier in the week. He has a 3-year plan, and moving from the Seattle Sounders as a head director of academy development, and now coming in as the head coach here for New York Red Bulls 2. He took the philosophy of the first team and wants to make sure it trickles on down. And that's huge, obviously, not only because you have a lot of these players that are in their early 20s, but some that are just teenagers.
Yeah, but I mean, early 20s is teenagers and early 20s is the way the game has evolved now. You know, the average age on teams is 20, 22, 23 years old, and this is in some of the best teams in the world. So
sure,
we're seeing a similar pattern evolve here in the USL. Age isn't the factor, it's whether the players are ready, capable, and good enough to compete at this level.
Show me the money. Today's presenting partner of Champions Night is Nuovo Pasta. Hartford Athletic and Nuovo Pasta are thrilled to host and celebrate the champions of the 2021 CIAC soccer tournaments.
Thank goodness that was offside, because that was a calamity defending, to say the least.
Not the first time tonight. Expect more of that to come here in the next 35+ minutes worth of action. Raffanello, Adebayo Smith. 4 defenders in blue and green around him, so he wasn't going anywhere.
Interesting, because you can see a lot more offside there. Interesting, you can see a lot more intent in how Red Bulls 2 are pressing in this opening stage at the second half. You can see them being very aggressive when Hartford's defenders have the ball and closing them down at speed, but not just individually, collectively. You see 4 or 5 bodies going to pressure the ball together, which was something we didn't really see in the first half. They were a little lackluster in their approach to closing down, but now there's a purposeful intent that you're seeing from the get-go.
Have a plan and try to execute it. Barrera trying to get it back from Herzog. Sadie, official's arm was not up. Sadie with an open lane, he gets taken out, but a good heads-up play from Mullings closing the gap.
What a recovery there from Castillo. It's another great pass around the corner from Herzog there. First time, plays around the corner. He doesn't quite get it out his feet as much as he liked, and Castillo does phenomenal there to get back and win that ball.
Yeah, Juan Castillo, you see him just shot out of a cannon, making contact first with the ball, and then Sadie second.
Yeah, Sadie just let it get away from him a little more than he would have liked. But great recovery there from Castillo.
That's huge, especially inside the box, because you know any kind of contact will result in the attacking player going down.
Yeah, he has to time that to perfection, because if he doesn't time that to perfection, he gives away a penalty kick and maybe sees himself leaving the game early with a red card. So he does very well to time that to perfection.
To the fans here in attendance tonight, Trinity Health Stadium. We are in Hartford, Connecticut. Yeah, you did see an old school Hartford Whalers shirt. Our producer Justin Cohen is a monster Florida Panthers fan, so he must be excited. ESPN, the family of networks, seeing a ton of Game 7s in the Stanley Cup playoffs in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Danny Barrera again on this corner kick. He's been the set-piece specialist for Hartford so far in this game.
Done a fine job in service. This will be their 4th corner of the match. Outside the 18, that strike coming off the left foot, and it's 2-1 Hartford Athletic, and a fine shot from Joel Johnson, his 2nd in a week.
I love the finish, but I love the corner even more. You can't even put an estimation on how difficult that pass is from Danny Barrera to drill that along the floor from that distance, but Johnson finds himself in the right place at the right time. Again, another set piece where they've caught Red Bulls 2 completely unaware, and they punish them.
It looked like it might have gone off the hand of Juan Castillo, but oddly enough, the back line of Red Bulls 2 appeared to have given up on the play.
Listen, I said earlier, Danny Barrera is a player who can change this game. Most players don't have the confidence or ability to deliver a ball like that from a corner kick. Drills it to perfection to the edge of the box. Gives his teammate the perfect ball to come on and strike. It gets a deflection, falls to Johnson at the back post. He's not going to make any mistakes from that distance. Hartford find themselves in the lead again in this game.
His third goal of the season and his 150th career regular season appearance. Joel Johnson. He was the hero last week on May the 7th against Loudoun United FC. The game-winning goal in the 41st minute. Finds his third goal of the season here into the second half. New York Red Bulls 2 trying to respond again.
And set pieces, they're such an important part of the modern game. I felt like Red Bulls 2 have been caught unprepared or unaware on a couple of set pieces. I don't know if it's a case of they've not done their homework or Hartford have come up with new set pieces for this game, but they've completely caught Red Bulls 2 unaware on a few occasions, and they've been punished on 2 of them.
And huge when you look at the scoring differential. For Hartford Athletic, it's their first multi-goal performance of the season as we go back to it. But just the placement from Barrera, it's just a great touch on his part.
The drill, the confidence and technique that you need to be able to deliver that pass that Barrera has delivered is not for everybody, but Johnson finds himself in a striker's position at the back post, poaching anything that's going wide or drops. He's in the right place, makes no mistake. It's a great chest and volley past the goalkeeper.
Oftentimes you might see some youthful and inexperienced players with a lot more sauce in that pass off the corner to McGlynn, but it was perfect. McGlynn let it rip, but Johnson on the doorstep did not give up on the play. Third goal of the season in 9 appearances. Equals his goal output from last year. He had 3 goals and 3 assists.
When you have players with the technical skills of Corey Herzog and Danny Barrera, these players can really make a difference in this game. You've seen Herzog's ability to take chances in the box, but Danny Barrera's ability to find you with passes, unlocking passes. He has a vision that's not common in a lot of players. He really can unlock your defense if you give him time and space on the ball.
All about reading it too. Since 2018, the Fix has been Hartford County's leading wellness spa. Whether you need a quick B12 shot to increase energy or a vitamin infusion to rehydrate, this is the place to reset your mind and body. Take time, treat yourself, and invest in your health with the Fix.
And if you're watching Barrera, he's very tenacious in how he plays too.
Speaking of tenacity, response coming here, just missing. Looked like an odd man rush for New York Red Bulls 2. And we saw a little bit of this in the first half. The over-aggressiveness in the back line for Hartford Athletic almost cost him getting this match tied up again.
Yeah, this is a great penetrating pass in the space between the fullback and the centre-back. Just a little bit too far ahead of the strikers, but a threat that Red Bulls 2 have shown on numerous occasions. Just that quality in the layoff to the teammate hasn't quite been there.
Jordan Adebayo-Smith streaking down the middle of the pitch in search of his second goal of this affair. First one might have been the easiest goal he scored all year, maybe in his career. It's a long way to go, though, towards the end of the season.
And we were just speaking about the tenacity of Danny Barrera. You know, sometimes when players have that level of talent and gift and ability, they maybe don't work as hard out of possession when their team doesn't have the ball. But you've seen Danny Barrera out there tonight, chasing down players, winning tackles, putting his body on the line. And then when he's in possession, he's so calm and composed and shows a different level of ability and vision to many other players. You know, he's fantastic to watch.
Castile, eye arcing on the throw-in. Nobody around in red and white, though. Herzog. Sadie. Got that streak in him. Accelerate, left foot! Knocked down. Nico Politis cut down the angle nicely. Didn't get in any trouble there. It's still 2-1.
You can't blame Sadie for having the strike there, but You just felt that Johnson was in the box in a better position. Had he just slid it along the floor diagonally, that his teammate would have had an easy tapping, but fair play to him. He created the opportunity, he drove into the box, makes the keeper make a phenomenal save, Nico Polidis, and punches that one out for a corner. But Hartford now starting to show their danger on the counter-attack.
Again, you saw Juan Castillo hunting down Sadie.
And Red Bulls obviously being down a goal, they have to throw bodies forward to get themselves back in the game. So they're going to be wide open for the counter-attack at times.
Barrera again on this corner. He'll be around Herzog. This one is shanked well over the net. Herzog looked good to you tonight so far, despite the fact he hasn't played a lot of time?
I think Corey Herzog is 31. I think Danny Barrera might be 32. So, you know, sometimes players get to their 30s and they start to be told they're too old. You get young players in their 20s and they be told they're too young. I don't think it's ever a case of the age, as I mentioned earlier. If you're still in your 30s and you're able to perform and compete the level that these two have tonight, then they're more than good enough. You know, if you're in your 16, 17, 19, and you're able to come out and perform, then this is the platform and it gives you the opportunity.
Don't disregard the mental component, too. A couple players collide in their midfield as we're into the 61st minute. McGlynn getting up. He appears to be okay. Connor had an impact in the second goal of this match, scored by Joel Johnson. Johnson's goal right now is unassisted. Jordan Adebayo Smith, his goal in the first half. Ovante Mulling's got the helper on it, so that's his first point of the year.
But we've seen Hartford capitalize on the importance of set pieces. You know, one comes off a creative corner. It's not just any corner that's been whipped into the box and finishes normal. It's a creative corner they've obviously worked on. The other one comes off a Corey Herzog throw-in. So they've made their set piece opportunities count in this game. It's something that they obviously work on the training ground. I think Red Bulls too, as I mentioned, have got caught sleeping on both occasions from that set pieces and been punished. And that can sometimes be a lack of experience and a lack of being put in opportunity and realizing how important and switched on you need to be from set pieces, because more than 30% of goals in games are generally scored off of set pieces. So it's actually a moment in games when many players switch off, but it's actually the moment when you really need to concentrate more and stay organized and connect to your teammates, because sometimes the goal isn't scored from the first shot, it's scored from the one that's deflected and drops down for somebody to finish off. And it's being able to be concentrating and switched on and react to that moment that can be the difference between scoring or not scoring.
How much communication's involved during a match about set pieces?
Normally, you know, goalkeepers are very focused on keeping clean sheets. So anything in and around the box, the onus is normally on the goalkeepers and the centre backs to make sure everybody's in the right places, because this is something that you hope they would have rehearsed in practice, you know, where they want the players to be and how they want to defend set pieces. And it's just, at the end of the day, it all boils down to concentration.
Tonight's youth affiliate of the match is Pomperog Soccer Club. 2-1 is the score. Hartford Athletic scored once in the first half and another here in the second half. Joel Johnson with the goal-ahead goal. His third of the year. Sadie trying to make a move on the goal line. He was cut off, though. Hartford Athletic has progressed throughout this contest. Didn't come out flat from the opening get-go, but we'll just say that New York Red Bulls 2 just looked like the better team. And the better the chances, shots, scoring opportunities, and possession, and then slowly and surely it flipped the other way. Speaking of that, don't miss a minute of the action in 2022, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN+, the home of the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com.
A little bit wasteful there from Johnson. He had a good possession of the ball. Maybe just needed to hold on to it for a little bit longer till he got some support from his teammates. Ended up giving possession back to Red Bulls 2.
Heading our way into the 65th minute here from Hartford, Connecticut.
Forey there ends up going backwards. You just wish that when he receives that ball, he opens up his first touch facing forward. It's going to allow his team to get higher up the pitch. It's going to allow him to play forward and be more effective in his possession. However, when he sees it with his first touch is back towards his own goal. And that doesn't allow his team to get higher up the pitch.
For as much possession time as New York Red Bulls 2 had in the first half, they don't have any of it here in the second. Being outshot now by Hartford Athletic, 10-3.
Just being a little bit more brave in possession and a little bit more forward thinking. They've had moments or spells of decent possession, but sometimes players that may be a little bit afraid to take the risk in going forward.
Give and go of Poland. This cross. Johnson into the box. That one deflected on the way through. It looked like by De Leon.
Good pass there from Johnson. Just when you're expecting him to whip it in the air, he picks out one of his teammates' to feet. He does a good job of first touch and getting a strike on target, but keeper was well positioned to claim it.
So our first substitution of the night. You surprised by this, or do you feel like it's more comfortable with what New York Red Bulls 2 has done throughout the course of the season?
I mean, they've got to get themselves back in the game. They've got to start picking up points. You know, if the objective is for these players to maybe progress and see if they can get into the senior team, they've got to be able to play well and build confidence, because it's very difficult, even as a talented player, to shine or showcase yourself if your team's not performing well and there's no cohesion and unison and progress in the results. And right now they're in a tough spot because they're bottom of the table, struggling to score goals, struggling to keep clean sheets. You know, as a defender, that's what you pride yourself on, the ability to keep clean sheets. And as a forward or an offensive player, obviously it's to score goals. And where they've not been really effective at doing either of that, it makes it difficult for players to shine and build confidence in their ability. So, you know, I think the change is made to see if they can get the equalizer in this game.
Budati with a fine play defensively and a booking for Serwada here in the 67th minute. Serwada trying to make up as Budati, nice pickpocket back in his defending third. That was a great play to rip away the ball from Chris Forey. You see him on this run getting hog-tied from behind.
Yeah, it's a tactical foul. Just gives his team the opportunity now to get 11 players behind the ball and defend it when they were probably numbers down as that was about to progress.
Ilya Turkis now in from Jordan Adebayo-Smith. Turkis, as Chris had mentioned, ripe old age of 16. Turned 17 this August the 1st to be exact. A little scary when you see the date of birth, 2005.
It's not. It doesn't scare me. It excites me because I know that if a 16-year-old is playing in the USL Championship, this has to be a special talent. So I'm looking forward to watching him play because I know this kid has to have something special about him.
And so you've had the opportunity from here in the United States and also internationally to see the youth put on the big stage. How important is that back home?
It's so important for the development, but you don't get the opportunity to play at this level at 16 years old unless you're special.
Yeah.
So this kid, you know, he's ready. He's already shown his coaches and the organization that he has the capability, the maturity, the mentality. He understands the game enough. He has the technical ability to go out there and be effective. So it's exciting when you see young players at such an age on the field because you know that on a daily basis in their training sessions, they've been phenomenal. They've been the standout one in their age groups. And this is a reward, essentially, for the good work that they've been putting in behind the scenes. So it's always exciting when you see young prospects coming through. The challenge, of course, is to see if they can replicate maybe the form or success that they've been having at this level. And sometimes that takes a little bit of time. You hope that you're surrounded by some senior players who you can learn off when you're on the field and can kind of guide you when you're getting your feet wet. But it's also always a very exciting time.
Williams, good steal. Herzog couldn't get to it in time. Westfield Bank is proud to support Hartford Athletic and all that they do to make our communities better. Need more convenience from your bank? At Westfield Bank, you can bank your way. Learn more at westfieldbank.com. Giannis Nikopolidis switching the pitch for New York Red Bulls 2. Not had much sustained pressure in the second half. They're fighting upstream quite a bit. Down a goal. That shot, we're tied at 2-2. It just felt like if the chances were to come for New York Red Bulls 2, they'd have to make the most of their opportunity right away. And Ilya Turkish, who just came into the match for Jordan Adebayo-Smith, what a bullet. And we're tied 2-2.
What a great first touch in his awareness. He already knows where the goal is before he opens his body. He already knows what he's going to do with the ball. Just opens his body with his first touch, bends it into the second post with his left foot. What a finish. We asked why the coach was making changes, and that's the reason. He's brought a player into the game who has immediately got them back onto level pegging.
Quite the adjustment being made by Gary Lewis. He replaces the only goal scorer of the night with a 16-year-old.
And we question his age. I think he's answered the question already. He's already proved that he's as old or as good enough as anybody else on the pitch. Maybe with his first touch or his second touch of the game, he's put the ball in the back of the net and done something that's not been a premium to either of these teams so far this season. So fair play to him. I think he's proved that he's supposed to be out there.
A turn and fire by the 16-year-old Turkish. And he found the back of the net with great ease.
And I was literally just about to talk about the objective for Hartford for the remaining 20 minutes of this game. And I was about to say it's the job of the back five, including McGlynn now, to see if they can go on and seal out this second half without conceding another goal. And before I even got to get my sentence off, Tarkus opens up his body and bends it into the far corner. Now 2-2.
Unbelievable. So Ilya Turkish comes into the contest and makes some immediate noise. 2-2 is the score.
If there's ever a way to silence any doubters that may have question marks about your age, I think Tarkus just showed exactly how it's done. Let the ball do the talking.
For the second time tonight, Avante Mullings has an impact on the goal. It's his second assist of the evening. So came into the contest, not even on the box score sheet. No goals, no assists, 0 points. Now has 2, and we're tied 2-2. The Performance Lab is an all-inclusive model that brings the latest technologies for pain relief, wellness, and mobility together under one roof. With one-on-one treatments and a customized approach to fit your needs, Performance Lab will get you moving and feeling your best. Might need it right there.
And we know what's coming up from this throw. There's nobody even in a there's no one in a short proximity for Herzog to throw it to on a short throw-in. So you know this is going into the box.
If you're just joining us, Herzog, that man right there, led to the first goal of the contest for Hartford Athletic. His long throw-in into the box was nicely chipped in. Luka Purpa, his first of the year.
And it's not something you see often, right? In a throw-in in this instance, you normally see players within a 5 or 10 yards. But when Herzog has that ball, there's nobody within 30 yards of him right now. So you know he has the distance to launch that into the penalty area, probably somewhere around the penalty spot for his teammates to attack. Hopefully Red Bulls 2 took the warning the first time, and a little bit more prepared for the second time.
Michael Knapp now into the fray, replacing Curtis O'Forty. Right foot again. This one just misses the far bar. Nikopolidis stretched out, couldn't get to it, but he's awfully lucky as we're still tied 2-2.
Herzog again with that dangerous long throw. The ball just bounces down in the box, and that's ever so close from finding the back of the net.
Chadama trying to get on the score sheet. Andre Lewis coming in, replacing Luka Purpa. Lewis from Spanish Town, Jamaica. So Red Bulls 2, last sub for them. Well, cat and mouse, both these teams with a win apiece on the year. Hartford Athletic 1-6-1. New York Red Bulls 2, 1-7-1. We're in a big hole to open up USL Championship competition. But you can follow these teams and all of them this season. If you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk. USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. Quite the luxury too when you have coaches, scouts, young products, someone looking to get back into the game, having access to this, whether it's on live TV, the digital applications, radio. It's a different world from when you played back in the day, right, Chris?
Yeah, I think the way the game has grown and continues to grow and evolve in the US is something for everybody to be excited about.
No discounting in that. Here's Lewis outside. Johnson, the cross, the header, punched away at the last second by Nico Politis.
Good cross there from Johnson. I think Daly does well to get in front of his man there at the last moment and get his head off, but goalkeeper Nico Politis equal to the opportunity, pushes it away.
Yeah, Rashawn Dali coming into the match for the first time. Here's Turkish again. Turkus gets taken down. A whistle.
Ever so close. One more step and that's a PK. The referee's giving a free kick on the edge of the box.
Results in a booking.
But Turkus has had a positive impact since he's come into the game.
And Poland with the booking in the 76th minute. That's his first. We're talking about just a hair outside the 18.
Raffanello, sorry, it wasn't Turkus. Raffanello there driving into the box with the ball. Risky challenge to say the least when it's so close to the edge of the box. Be interesting to see who steps up to take this. Looks like Castillo. Left-footed.
See how they approach this here. Felipe will go into the 18. Serwada's back. Castillo on the right side for Raffanello.
Herzog there just playing a little mind game, you know, staying right in front of the ball, ensuring they don't take any quick free kicks. Interesting to see if he goes over the wall there and tries to get it to dip under the crossbar, or if he tries to go around the wall.
Let's see who takes this. Free kick delivery. Raffanello, this one airborne.
Just unable to get that ball to dip. He got it over the wall, but it wasn't able to dip quick enough to hit the frame.
Jeremy's been banged up. He got tagged a few times in the first half. Hartford Athletic would like to thank Connecticut's own Right Bar Juice, the official cocktail mixer of Hartford Athletic.
And of course, one of the keys to this game for Red Bulls too, to keep themselves competitive, was keep 11 players on the field for the duration of the game. For 77 minutes, so far so good, but there's still time left. I think if they're able to achieve that small goal, they're making progress, they're making momentum, possibly even have the opportunity to go in and steal a winner in this game, based upon the players that have come off the bench, the impact that they've had immediately.
McGlynn quickly. Barrera service. Time play, but it was quickly wiped out. Let's see if they go back to it.
You have to be careful with this Hartford team on set pieces. They're very creative. They do things differently. They make them count.
But the idea right now is we have just about 12 minutes plus in this contest. Goes back to your earlier point of not necessarily having clean sheets now, but making sure that you keep those unbeaten streaks alive.
Yep, going into the last 12 minutes, we spoke about.
Chance here, Nico Politis staying on that goal line, trying to be reactionary if he needs to be.
Ambitious effort there from from Daly. You wondered whether it had been better to get the ball down, drive in the box, and try and cut it back, rather than try to hit a half volley on his left foot. It's not a bad effort, but off target, was never threatening the keeper.
Daly, the 49th overall pick by FC Cincy in 2019. The MLS Super Draft. Making his 7th appearance of the season. Has a goal. No assists yet. Lewis. Herzog. Connor McGlynn, who's played well. He's been all over the pitch this evening. And there's a challenge. Will result in a foul.
Interesting to see now, because Herzog's find himself drifting into wide areas where he's not as effective in those wide areas as he is when he's in between the sticks and in areas where he can score goals. So it's interesting to see him drift into those wide areas now when he's been so threatening in the dangerous areas in front of goal.
There's Barrera again. Nearly overplayed that. Tell you what, Felipe had him inside of his jersey. Two can have a dance, and speaking of that, and now Barrera. Tell you what, these two teams are not sharing many pleasantries at the moment. So there'll be at least one booking. Castillo trying to clean things up. Felipe backing off a bit, having some choice words for Barrera.
And while these moments do slow down the tempo of the game and the momentum, you like to see that kind of fire and passion in players. You know, he wants to get the ball down, he wants to take it quick, he wants to get his team back in the game, and the opposition are obstructing him from doing that. So as frustrating as it can be sometimes when these moments happen and the game slowed down, you kind of like to see that fire and passion from the players. And we spoke earlier about the tenacity of Danny Barrera.
So Sam Williams and Danny Barrera each get a booking in the 82nd minute. I think this is more along the lines of the officials trying to keep this game close without getting away in terms of physicality.
There's a free kick. Look, Barrera wants to get the ball and he wants to get on with the game quickly. He might be a little bit lucky there to just get away with a yellow card, but you know, you can't take the passion, the fire, the hunger out of the players. This is why we love the game.
Jose Carlos Rivero, the head official tonight, keeping things at bay for both squads. A header softly going into Nico Politis.
Yeah, had that been directed a little bit more behind, Williams at the far post all alone.
Turkis lost the handle on it, but he'll get it back on a throw-in here.
9 minutes to go, and I can't see either of these teams accepting a draw. I think we're going to see wide open game, both teams going after the winner.
They'll lose and everything to gain. Possession stays with New York Red Bulls 2. Big thanks tonight to our producer, Justin Cohen, Connor Durkin, our director, Santiago Guzman on replay, and Betty Morales on the sound here tonight. Easy stop again, this one for Austin Pack. Players jostling. Dali tied up. Dali and Rivero. Dali brushes them back.
There's opportunity in this game right now for a quick free kick to catch either team unaware, unprepared, and unorganized. When they slow the ball down and put from free kicks and allow everybody to get organized, you lose the opportunity to break them down when they're disorganized and create a quick goal scoring chance. I think whoever's able to take advantage of that moments in lapse in concentration, probably going to be the victorious team in this game.
Only small patches of delays here in the second half, so I'll be curious to see how much stoppage time is added. Lewis, he goes tumbling down. Castillo with a fine play.
Nice. I think if there's a defender who stood out in this game, it's definitely been Castillo for Red Bulls 2. He's been fairly impressive in his ability in possession and the timing of his tackles and interceptions when he's not had possession of the ball. I think I've been pretty impressed with Castillo in this game.
Yeah, he's got an extra gear in him. Speaking of that, Hartford Athletic would like to thank our founding partner, Stanley Black & Decker. Stay tuned each week for the Stanley Innovative Play of the Game.
You know, we're talking about Herzog's position now. very deep and wide, and that's not threatening in goal. You know, the opponents will be very happy to see him in those positions because they know when he's wide and deep, he's not in a position where he can punish him and score goals. I think he wants to try and remain high, as central as he can, because he's the one with the quality who can put the ball in the back of the net for his team. It looks like Corey's gone out to the left and Daly's occupying the central areas, but I don't think his coach will want him coming too wide and too deep.
Herzog had his back being climbed by Raffanello.
Yeah, this is another opportunity for Danny Barrera to get on the ball and deliver his dangerous set pieces into the box.
Rivera going to offer another booking. Yeah, I saw him in the back pocket. For a brief moment, it looked like he was going to holster that card.
Yeah, he wasn't impressed with something Mullins said in that occasion.
Yeah, it was Mullins and Knapp. They're going to give it to Knapp. So Michael Knapp in the 85th minute with his booking. And it's not like the head official's making the story about himself.
The referee's done a good job in this game.
Yeah.
I think it's been despite some challenges, it's been a good flow to the game.
Fans on their feet stamping here, trying to leave a mark at Trinity Health Stadium. Home team needs a victory, wants their second of the season. Here's Danny Barrera. Barrera on service into the box, the header. And there's contact inside the 18. Dolly, who went down. I don't know if he flopped or not.
Again, another dangerous opportunity from a set piece from Hartford once again. Barrera's delivery, you know, you like them if you're a number 9 up top and you're good in the air or you have good hold-up play. He puts it exactly where you want to be able to attack it.
So about 4 minutes plus in regulation. Hartford Athletic is proud to team up with Stop and Shop and all of our community efforts as we work together year-round in the fight against food insecurity. New York Red Bulls 2 have to be happy not only with the score right now, but the ability to respond not once but twice. They were down 1-0, then down 2-1.
Yeah, there's individual moments of brilliance. You know, the finish just before halftime from Adebayo Smith, and then Tykus is a goal that he scored when he came into the field was something spectacular. Just opens out with his first touch and bends it into the far corner with his left foot. Probably his first 2 touches of the game.
Yeah, he was not even breaking a sweat. Might have been hearing us. And all of a sudden, just outside the 18, turned and fired far left corner for the equalizer. But that's what you'd love to see from your head coach and Gary Lewis. Make a substitution and you look like a hero.
Yeah, Red Bulls 2 here need to make sure they're organized. Everybody's picking up a man and stays tight to them, because Corey Herzog launched in throw-ins have been dangerous so far in this game.
Certainly is an encouraging sign for Hartford Athletic to be solid on their set pieces. They haven't been wasted at all. Doesn't always necessarily result in a goal, but if you can get quality scoring chances, then that's about as much as you can ask for. Everything else is a cherry on top. It's Gary Lewis. First year as head coach for New York Red Bulls 2.
Yeah, I think Red Bulls 2 will be disappointed in the way they've conceded their goals today. I don't think much could be done about Tykus' strike. That for Hartford, that was a moment of brilliance. But there's definitely improvement that can be made on the defensive front for both teams. I think they will take the positives that they've been able to score goals. But defensively, I think both know that they need to tighten up. Definitely Red Bulls 2 from set pieces. They need to work a lot on their marking from set pieces, their concentration and organization, to make sure they're not as vulnerable as they might be going forward as they have been in this game. But I think there's positives that both teams can take out of this game going forward. Obviously, this result doesn't really help either of them climb from the positions that they're in. But I think in terms of building and momentum and taking positives from the game, I think there's positives for both teams to take from the game.
Brignoli Vineyard stoppage time. There's going to be 5 minutes of stoppage time. Hartford Athletic will get back to work next week, the 21st, at FC Tulsa. New York Red Bulls 2 at Indy 11 on the 21st. It looks like we will have another substitution. You see Mitchell Curry will come in. Curry getting his first look tonight.
Just the last moments of this game, I imagine Hartford are just trying to put on some fresh legs, see if they can have one more roll of the dice and potentially steal the winner. Johnson obviously got himself on the score sheet tonight, did well.
Gadula also coming in. See him right there, number 3, entering just at the bottom of the screen. Barrera, service here, bending it out. A miss hit. And on the retreat.
And Pack will just want to get this ball forward again. There's not long left in the game. They've got to try and put as much pressure as they can on this Red Bulls 2 defense if they're going to get this equalizer.
Herzog. Lewis. Gadula into the box to chip. What a great stop. Nico Politis on the doorstep. Official going to rule it offside.
So it's offside, but what a save from Nico Politis. Even if it wasn't, point blank range. Nice overlapping run here from the fullback who just came into the game. You wondered if he was going to take another touch and go further towards goal himself before sliding across, but seemed to have made the right decision. But Curry found himself offside, but a great save anyway from Nico Politis.
Still archive that in the highlight bin if you're Nico Politis. Nothing wrong with that when you have good fresh tape like that. So Gadula.
Onside or offside, goalkeepers have the habit of not liking to see the ball in the back of their net.
No doubt about it. So Gadula trying to make an impact. Dolly tried centering at. This time is trickling down here in Hartford.
Just maybe like improvement for both teams in the final third. Just the final pass at times has let them down, or the choice of the final pass. I think there's been opportunities where they could have been a little bit more patient.
Chris Carson, Gadula.
A little bit more patient in that final pass, and it would have created an easier goal scoring opportunity. But I think for both teams, that's been an area they can improve.
Nico, please, this is a mental mistake by the keeper, and this will result in a corner kick.
Absolute giveaway. The last thing you want to see at this stage of the game is Danny Burrow going to deliver one of his dangerous in-swinging corners. Fairly straightforward there for the goalkeeper to collect, but he allows it to slip out of his hands, and Hartford have an opportunity here from this corner.
I mean, the 7th of the night for the home team. See how they deliver on this attempt. Barrera out of the corner. Far bar, the header, softly rolling, and it's 3-2 Hartford Athletic. The fans in the stands, and there's that man again, Corey Herzog, with a go-ahead goal, and it's 3-2 home team.
We just spoke about the last thing you want to do at this phase of the game is allow Danny Burrow to deliver an in-swinging corner. Great delivery, and Herzog just finds himself in the right moment at the right time with that goal striker's instinct. He doesn't need to do much apart from just guide it into the net. Barrera delivers this one deep. Great job to nod it back across, and Herzog is positioned so cleverly. He's standing in front of the keeper where he just lets the ball roll across his body and taps it into the back of the net. Even if the goalkeeper wanted to come and get it, he would have had to go through Corey's body first. And these are the small little instincts that strikers have, and this is why he is the second all-time leading goal scorer in the USL. Corey Herzog gets himself on the score sheet.
74 career goals. And about as loud as the fans had been here tonight, they are on their feet for number 12. You know, coming into this contest, we talked about his physical condition. I hate to see when he's up to full speed.
Yeah, you know, he's already repaid the trust that his coach, Harry Watling, has shown in bringing him from his car washing business back onto the football field, soccer field where he belongs, putting goals into the back of the net. Look at the smile on his face. Look at how much he's enjoying life. You know, he talked about being a family man and wanting to build with his wife and his young kids, but you can see there's still plenty more in Corey Herzog in the USL Championship as a player.
And for Herzog, it's his first goal of the season in 3 appearances. And a monster one, the go-ahead goal.
This will be a tremendous confidence boost now for Hartford. They got 3 points in their previous game against Loudoun. They're able to pick up 3 points tonight at home. Now this is a foundation that they continue to build upon. Head coach Harry Watling will be ecstatic with his team if they're able to go and see out this result.
And you have to feel for Giannis Nikopolidis. He's been victimized by his back line. 3 goals against. You really can't fault the keeper on any of them.
You can't fault the keeper, but defending, we highlighted early in this game the frailty in defending set pieces. It's been a consistent pattern so far over this game. Every time there was a set piece, be it one of Corey's throw-ins or Danny Berra's deliveries from free kicks or corners into the box, it's been a huge problem for Red Bulls 2 to defend. And they've been punished 3 times in this game from set piece scenarios.
Now, one could certainly make the argument, though, if Nikopolidis did not misplay that ball that was going wide of the net, the corner would have never materialized.
Yeah, you get punished for mistakes. It's definitely a mental lapse. The last 5 minutes of the game, you want to try and concede as minimal opportunities for the opponents to score as possible. It's a slip out of the hands, gives away the corner, and they end up getting punished from the corner. This is unfortunately how the game unfolds sometimes, and it's sad, it's gutting, it's disappointing, but Hartford made them pay.
It's certainly a humbling experience. The yellow card that was administered was for wasting time. New York Red Bulls 2 have conceded 7 goals in the last 15 minutes of the second half, and this thing is all over. Corey Herzog coming out of street clothes, making an immediate impact for Hartford Athletic. His first goal of the season happens in stoppage time, and Hartford Athletic wins this game in dramatic fashion. 3-2 is the final score.
Yeah, I think Hartford deserve it for the character, the work rate, the intensity, the attitude that they've shown today. It's gutting for Red Bulls 2. They got themselves back into the game and lost it in a set piece in the last 5 minutes, but I think Hartford deserved it in the end.
Well, they're not always going streaking here in Hartford, but nevertheless, the fans in attendance had some fun as they win it. Hartford Athletic does. 3-2 was the final score. Don't miss our next match right here at Trinity Health Stadium on May 28th at 7 p.m. Go to hartfordathletic.com for tickets and more information, as that contest just weeks away against the Phoenix Rising. And Corey Herzog, the man of the match, all hugs, all smiles. His first goal of the season and only third appearance. That's his mom, and she gets a warm and probably wet hug from her son. But we take a look at the highlights in this contest, and it was a seesaw battle, Chris.
Definitely not an affair for the faint-hearted. End-to-end action in the end from both teams. Corey Herzog showing his danger here with that long throw. Red Bulls 2 were just completely unaware. Perpa sneaks in at the back post, finishes it off with fairly ease.
Perpa, his first goal of the season. Herzog setting up the first tally of the night. And it was an indication of what was to come, not only for him, but the team in blue and green. Retaliation, though, it came late in the first half and a bit of a misplay from Austin Pack in net.
Yeah, counter-attack here, ball over the top, catches everybody unaware. Austin Pack, no man's land. Great job to finish here from this angle. The harder of the two finishes that he had earlier, one he put over the crossbar. He made no mistake with this one.
Move from the first half to the second one. It was all about service from Danny Barrera.
Danny Barrera's technique is something to be admired, but what a finish on the back post. Controls it on his chest, buries it into the back of the net volley. They find themselves in the lead once again.
Joel Johnson, his third goal of the season and second in 2 weeks. But New York Red Bulls 2 would not go quietly another good night.
Young 16-year-old comes onto the pitch. Don't underestimate opening his hips with that first touch and bends it into the far post with his second touch. 2 touches into the game, puts himself on the score sheet. Tied game once again.
Ilya Turkus, the 16-year-old phenom, comes in. An immediate impact for New York Red Bulls 2. We're locked up at 2-2, but then we'll get a stoppage time. And again, there's Barrera.
Final kick of the game. We spoke about you don't want to see Danny Barrera delivering in dangerous set pieces. And who's on the score sheet once again? Corey Herzog. Poacher's goal. Couldn't get an easier finish.
Finding Twine to set up the first goal of the affair and the one to close things out. And Hartford Athletic has won back-to-back games, the 2 wins this season. They're now 2-6-1 as we took a look at the final tallies in this affair.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad game possession-wise for Red Bulls 2, but it's just what they did with that possession. They really have to work on defending set pieces. It was really a real benefit for Hartford. Every time they had a set piece, it was threatening. They either scored or had a good opportunity. It looked very threatening. This is where they've got to start getting a grip of things, Red Bulls 2, defending set pieces and defensively becoming more solid as a unit.
Well, a monster game for Hartford Athletics. Corey Herzog, the helper to open things up. The game-winning goal, his 74th career goal, comes at a perfect time in stoppage time. And Hartford Athletic wins their second game of the year. They're now 2-6-1. New York Red Bulls fall to 1-8-1. For Chris Nurse, I'm David Gascon saying so long from Trinity Health Stadium. Again, Hartford Athletic wins it by a final of 3-2. Have a good night, everyone. So long.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.